Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Pop Punk Podcast with me, T Will Official, and my G ass co host, Mr. Daddy Mush. Say what's up.
What's up, everybody? How's everybody going?
And I'm not even going to begin to try and keep track of what episode it is, but I do know that it is the first episode on the new channel, the dedicated Pop Punk channel, something that I probably should have done from episode 1, but better late than never. So, yeah. So everybody that followed over from the T Will official channel, thank you guys very much. We have episode I've been kind of looking forward to doing for a little bit. We've had this planned since like December, and we're finally getting around to do it. But before we do that, what have you been listening to this week, sir?
Okay, the stuff I've been listening to just from my quick little good afternoon thing on Spotify. I've been listening to Life Is Not a Waiting Room by Senses Fail. My Poison Arms EP by If I Die First. I've been listening to the new solo project by a Zach from Man Overboard. His band's called Bright Green. It's all right, I guess. I've been listening to that a little bit, and of course, Just Surrender and These Hearts Yours to Take album because I like to listen to that album when I work out. So yeah, that's pretty
Okay.
much what I've been listening to this week.
All right. I've also been listening to a little bit of These Hearts, particularly the song Psycho. I like that song a lot. Been listening to that song a lot lately. Been listening to a lot of Yellow Card lately too. I
Oh, very nice.
I keep kind of forgetting that they're good.
Me too.
I always just kind of write them off as like they're the band that did Ocean Avenue. But like when I listen to some of their other stuff, I keep forgetting like this is like I mean Ocean Avenue is an alright song, but like they're like like Breathing, Starstruck, stuff like that. Like those songs are kind of bangers.
I always they're kind of a band I always forget that I like because like when people say Yellow Card, I go, oh, they're all right, but like when I listen to them, I go, this is awesome. But like I don't really like as soon as I get to listening to it, I'm like, okay, whatever. Back to being, they exist.
Yeah, exactly. And even the I also like the song Lights and Sounds, which that song is always in my daily mix. I don't know why, but I'm glad it is because I like it. It's a good song.
Very nice, very nice.
My top 5 this week are How I Met Your Mother by the Friday Night Boys, Sadie Hawkins Dance by Reliant K, Pit Warrior by Sunrise Skater Kids, Jump Around by Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, which, for those that don't know, they're a Japanese metalcore band. This song in particular is like very weird because it's pretty much neon pop, but then like there's also random screaming in there. This song in particular, they're kind of like a Japanese These Hearts. There's like pop punk and metalcore next to each other, but they don't mix it to go easy core. It's just side by side. But the rest of their stuff is actually pretty sick. The rest of their stuff almost kind of sounds like Enter Shikari.
Very nice, very nice.
Yes, I know I piqued your interest with that. And then rounding out my top 5 would be a song called Hum Along by Ludo, which is kind of a song. It just made its way into my daily mix, and I liked it, so I added it to my playlist, and I've been kind of just listening to it here and there. And I guess
band I've not heard in a long time.
and I guess I've been listening to it here and there quite a bit because they're in my top 5 this week. And then rounding it out into a top 7 is Hand Grenade by The Movie Life and Acting Like That by Young Blood and MGK.
Very nice, very nice. And Luda, since you brought him up, I have not heard of that name in quite some time.
Yeah, that's the only really song I know by them. I don't really know any of their other stuff, but I like that song. It's pretty good. I might need to check out more of their stuff.
I mean, or whatever. I mean, I just really knew their song "Goodwill Hunting" by myself. It's very I haven't listened in like 12 years.
Yeah,
So
I mean,
don't
it's
on it.
the song. I mean, the song "Hum Along" is good, but it definitely kind of has that sound where I feel like this band could kind of go either way. They could probably have some really good songs, but they could probably also have some really terrible songs. So I'm a little nervous about checking them out, but I would definitely check them out and listen to some more.
I mean, it can't hurt. But yeah.
And also, of course, which will segue into the main meat of the conversation today, I've also been listening to a little bit of California Kicks by Fight Fair, which is the subject of today's episode. We're going to be doing a album review for California Kicks. Now, this album is kind of a weird album. It kind of frustrates me. Before I go too deep, I do want to say, so we did originally say we were going to be doing an album review of Less Than Jake's new album. I think I'm going to cancel the full episode for that. I apologize if you guys are looking forward to that, but I really, I've been listening to the album over and over again, and I just really can't think of words to say for those songs. But if you did want to hear my thoughts on the album, stick around until the end of the episode. We're going to do a little blurb where we talk about it. We're not going to go track by track, but we're just going to kind of give a little overview of the full album, kind of like we're doing with California Kicks now. But now that's out of the way, so California Kicks is kind of weird because you can hear remnants of a good album in there. A few of the songs are actually really, really good, and we're going to talk about that. A few of the songs kind of sound like, like the successor to Settle the Score, which was the EP that they put out before California Kicks, and it was a really solid, easy core / kind of neon-y type album, sort of like if you've ever heard Skip School Start Fights by Hit the Lights, sort of in the same realm of that, where it's got easy core, but it's also got some neon in there too. California Kicks,
I believe that's what the kids call popcore.
Yeah, popcore, there you go. And then California Kicks, they just kind of went in a weirdly different direction. There's no easy core on the album, at all. There's definitely traces of the neon in there. But really, kind of what they did overall was sort of do a Beach Boys kind of surf rock type vibe with the album. And it's kind of weird. I guess I can't fault them if they wanted to try and make the album stand out. But it's just when an album, when you can't tell if somebody's trolling or not, or if this is supposed to be a serious piece of artwork, I feel like there's kind of a problem. So I guess we could just hop right on in, and we'll start off with track number 1, California Girls, or as Spotify puts it, California Girls, because there's no A at the end.
Yeah, for whatever reason, Spotify likes to have, if you go on Spotify, there's a lot of, I guess, typos through the track listing, and you'll see that for future references, I guess, as well.
Yeah, and I mean, it's alright. I would definitely probably put it in my top 5 on the album, although it's kind of not really saying much because there is only 11 songs on the album, and some of it is pretty bad, but it does set the tone. I mean, it lets you know what you're getting into. It's definitely the verses definitely have that we like the Beach Boys vibe to it, and I mean the chorus is solid enough pop punk.
Yeah, I mean, I would say that this is definitely I would say once again, I mean, this is definitely one of the 3 songs on the album that I will continually listen to just on its own, just because I think the song is generally enjoyable. Like I said, obviously, I mean, I do respect the mixing of genres because it's always cool to try something new, and you gotta applaud them for that.
Yeah,
But, the song it's catchy, it's typical, it's pop punk, but it has a little bit of that Beach Boys influence, but it's not so egregious, I guess, if you know what I'm trying to say. You know what I mean?
And there are songs on this album that are very egregious that we will be talking about as we go through.
But California Kicks it's pretty safe. It's pretty much like
California Girls.
Yeah.
I didn't do that to be an asshole. I just do that because there is a song on the album called California Kicks later on, so I just didn't want to confuse anybody watching.
Oh yeah, my bad. I guess I was too busy thinking about we're talking about the album California Kicks, and there is never mind, California Girls. Yeah,
nah, it is annoying. Yeah. Not annoying. It's what's the word I'm looking for? Confusing. That's it. I didn't mean to say annoying. It is confusing because you got the album name, which is California Kicks, and then you got the title track, which is later on in the album called California Kicks, but then the opening song is California Girls. You would think they would switch it around. California Kicks would be the opener, and then California Girls would be later on, but
that's typically how it works with, if bands name a song after the album, but, whatever. But yes, California Girls, it kind of sets the tone of what you're going to get. It's a it's more of a safer song, as in, it's still pop punk, but it has the Beach Boys, and you can definitely tell about the you definitely hear some of the a lot of the egregiousness with the verse when they do that little chant going on, like, "Do you really, really want a California girl?" Kind of sets the tone of this is gonna be some ridiculous shit.
Yeah, it definitely sets the tone because, like, I feel like there's almost every single song on this album, if not every song, has at least one part where you kind of sitting there thinking, "What the hell are they doing?" And
Yeah,
that is first exemplified in this song with the "Do you want a California girl?"
yeah, the whole I guess I call it the cheerleader chant they do.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah, but but I guess I would probably put this song maybe top 3, top 4.
That's fair. Yeah, I definitely put it in the top 5. It's not in my top 3. I will be going through my top 3. I don't know if I put it in my top 3, but it's definitely top 5 for me. I would say.
Okay, okay, fair enough.
And
So
I guess with all that said, we can move on to track number 2. I've Got a Secret, and this one is actually my favorite song on the album.
I'll let you talk about this then, since it's your favorite.
Yeah, so this one is kind of what I was talking about earlier, where I said, like, some songs on the album kind of sound like the successor to Settle the Score. This song in particular, it sounds like kind of like the successor to, like, Pop Rocks and Brain Freeze on that album, which were kind of neon-y. This song to me, like, they kind of just take that up to 10, and it's just like a full neon pop song to me. I mean, it doesn't really have the synth, so I don't know if you would consider it true neon, but it has that, like, vibe, that, like, party fun vibe. And as you know, I do enjoy neon pop. And it's not as egregious as some songs on the album where I'd be thinking, like, what the fuck is this? Like, there is a weird random part in the middle of the song where they, like, rap. But, other than that, like, it's just really solid neon pop. Like, even the rap part, as ridiculous as it is, I even kind of like the rap part in, like, a this is fucking ridiculous type way. But, I mean, the rest of the song I just genuinely really love.
Interesting. So I like how we can have a little bit of dissonance, I guess, per se, because this song is I don't know how to really describe it. It has a weird. It's like there's nothing about it that I dislike about it, but it just doesn't stick with me. Like, it just seems it's more of just a
And you know what?
generic and
That makes sense though, because I know it's no secret that me and you definitely, although we both enjoy neon pop, we definitely value it a little bit differently.
I mean, fine, enjoy. I mean, to me, it's mostly if it's on, I'm not going to complain. Uh, but I mean, this song is just not my preferred cup of tea. But I guess in the overall sense of the album, if the rest of the album were like this, it wouldn't have the reputation that it has.
Yeah, and it really definitely makes you think on, like, if doing what they did with this album is the right call, because if all the songs were pretty much just inoffensive neon like this, maybe it wouldn't be very notorious. But on the other
Yes,
hand, maybe, just being decent enough could have kept the momentum going and make them not break up after this album.
yeah, because I mean, they released one EP after this a year later, but it literally had zero legs behind it because people just wrote them off as soon as it's dropped.
To quote Sean Connery from Family Guy, may he rest in peace, although this wasn't the real Sean Connery, it's too late. The damage is done.
Yeah, so yeah, I've got a secret. To me personally, it's a relatively forgettable track because it's not good enough for me to want to listen to, but it's not as egregious or insane where I get a sick kick listening to it sometimes.
That's fair enough. For me, it's just it sounds like the popular songs off of Settle the Score, and I do actually really enjoy the popular songs. Now, my favorite songs off of Settle the Score are probably the ones that dabble a little more into easycore, or even just a straight up pop punk. Like Beachfront Avenue is one of my favorites as well. But I do also really like the popular songs off that album. And I've Got a Secret, to me, like, just kind of sounds like the continuation of it. Like, they don't really throw in that much of, like, a Beach Boysy influence on that one. But it's poppy. It's pretty neon-y. All it's missing to be like full blown neon is just some synths.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough.
But I think I said everything I said on that one.
Yeah, I said what I said too. So
Okay, so
yeah.
now we can move into track number 3. Sexy Fancy Money, all one word.
Yes, and this is, in my opinion, the first case of holy crap. What are they doing, my man?
Yeah, this is pretty much the shining example of when you can't tell if they're trolling or not. Maybe it wasn't the best idea. And I gotta say though, the girl singing, I'm not talking about the cheerleader chant in the middle of the song. I'm just talking about the girl singing and I guess the chorus. Had potential. It would have been a very solid like the vocal melody would have made for like a very solid like late 2000s pop song, which in my opinion was probably the pinnacle of pop music, was like 2008 to like 2014. But that's another discussion for another day. Would have made a very solid pop song, but the rest of the like you just got these fucking assholes in the back going, "Ooh, you're sexy, ooh, I'm fancy, ooh, I'm money," and I'm just saying like, what the hell is this?
I know, and then you got the bridge about the boys who want the girls because they got the booty or some crap like that.
I know, it's so ridiculous. And even like the verses, right? Because the verses where it kind of like snaps back into like more of like a pop punk territory. It's all just kind of forgettable to me. Like
Yeah, but
there's
then you got the chorus, and then the bridge, and then the outro. Most of the entire song is just insanity.
yeah, this song is a good offender of why I kind of think California Kicks was almost like a troll move from these guys. Because like who in their sane mind thought Sexy Fancy Money was going to be a hit?
I'm looking at the record label, and it's like the record label is like, you do realize we are in the business of selling this stuff, but like just the bridge. I think the most insane. It's funny that the chorus is even the most insanity part of this song, because the bridge is obviously even more insane. And when he goes, "You know that you got it, and I really, really want it." That part is insane. And you got the end of the song where they're just naming off random European cities, I guess, of rich people go, or something like that.
Oh, I know. This song is just absolutely ridiculous. And then, as we said before, there is the cheerleader chant in the middle of the song.
Yeah, it's like I'm not really sure. I mean, I guess if I want to throw a positive in there, it is any monotony that it could possibly have early on. It is definitely broken up right away. So I mean, if you want to throw a
That
positive,
is true. And I will put just to say something nice about the song. I do really enjoy the vocal melody in the chorus coming from the girl. I don't know who the girl is, so unfortunately, I'm just calling her the girl. Um, but I do really like the vocal melody of that part, and I think it would have actually fit really well, just like in like the like the pop music coming from that era. Like this album was what 2009,
2010 it came out, recorded in
2010.
2009, dropped in June of 2010.
Okay, my
When they were
apologies.
on Warped Tour.
My apologies. Well, it's still the same era, like pop music wise, so it would have just fit right in on like a song from that time.
Hmm.
And I'm thinking maybe they should have, but at the same time, at least this song is like notorious.
Yes, I mean I do have some first. Oh, sorry about that. That is Clyde is coughing.
Oh,
Uh,
is he all right?
he's fine. He just does this randomly.
Yeah, you just
But what I was saying
dogs
was,
always like eating shit that they shouldn't.
yeah, but I do have some firsthand experience talking to the singer, the Bingman himself, and me being a 15-year-old, I had no tact when it comes to asking people about music and stuff I like and dislike. And I remember telling them, I said, "Why did you release this?" And he said, well, when Settle the Score came out, he said that there were so many easy core bands and they wanted to be, I guess, unique and to do something completely new and different. So, and this is from the man's mouth himself at Warped Tour in Camden in 2010. And he did give me the album for free, so I do appreciate that. Shout out to the big man himself. But I just remember having like an hour conversation about him about just music and the album in general and how they just didn't want to make another easy core album because this is 2010 and this is when everybody was dropping easy core albums. So I guess to their credit, they wanted to try something new, but I think they flew too close to the sun.
Yeah, I guess with that, you gotta, because on the one hand, you definitely want to stick out. But on the other hand, you gotta kind of wonder what would be better. Putting out an album that sticks out, that kind of sucks. Or kind of going with the flow, but then just putting out something that's really good. Because they were pretty good at Easy Core. I would consider Settle the Score one of my favorite Easy Core releases. And if we're delving into sub-genres, I would probably say it is my favorite popcore release.
Yes, and just I guess to reiterate, they do have the Broken EP that came out a year after, which is forgotten on the internet, which is unfortunate because there was some, in my opinion, some good tracks on there, and it's just more of a straight up return to form of pop punk with random out of place breakdowns. So, if you want to delve in YouTube and go through the Fight Fair rabbit hole, there is the Broken EP, which is missing to the internet.
Yeah, that is very true. I've heard some of the stuff on it because it's not on Spotify. This album is on Spotify. I'm just gonna reiterate. When we review these albums, we don't play them just for copyright reasons because we don't want to not be able to monetize our videos. So for copyright reasons, we don't play the albums on the stream, but most of the albums, I think so far all the albums we reviewed have been on Spotify, so you are able to check them out there. This Broken EP, however, is not on Spotify. It is on YouTube, and I did hear one of the tracks. And it was...
Not even all the tracks are on YouTube, unfortunately. It's only like 2 of them out of like the 4 or 5.
Yeah, that's very unfortunate. Because it was pretty good.
I haven't even listened to the full album EP because I can't find access to it.
That's upsetting.
Yes, but I guess, with that little sidetrack out of the way, I guess we can move on to Dinner Date.
Diner Date, track number 4.
Yes, Diner Date, yes.
No, you're good. This one is probably my second favorite song on the album.
Really now?
Probably for the simple fact that the breakdown is probably my single favorite piece of music on this entire album.
Yes, it's funny that you brought up the breakdown because I also want to discuss the breakdown in a bit more in depth because although in my opinion the breakdown is the best part of the song, it also has the what the F moment of the song too. And I'll explain.
Okay, go ahead. Take the floor.
Well, I mean, let me just skip to the breakdown because the breakdown is pretty awesome, I will admit, and it's kind of out of place, honestly, because the rest of the song just is kind of a continuation of what California Girls kind of started with. Just kind of, we're definitely a pop punk band, but we also really love the Beach Boys more than anything. But like Diner Date, this is the song where has a little bit of dialogue between a guy and a girl, talking to kiss, and then in the background of the breakdown, you hear the nice make-out scene going on in the background. I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, interesting, very interesting stuff.
That is true. You can hear that towards the beginning of the breakdown. You hear a little smooch.
Yes, because he asks, he had the best day of his life, he can kiss her, and she says, of course, and it kicks into the breakdown, which is one of the more unique, I guess, breakdown, build-ups in recent memory is the kiss her scene, and then you hear the making out in the background. I'm like, this is weird, but okay.
And then the breakdown itself is probably the sole trace of we were an easy core band in 2008 on this entire album. Because the rest of it, the easy core influence is just pretty much non-existent. They shed it for a 60s pop.
Well, Party Girls does have a breakdown, but yes.
Okay, then I stand corrected. It's one of 2. It's one of 2 of the easy core traces on this album. But like, I mean, yeah, that part is very good. If the rest of the song was whack, though, it probably wouldn't be my second favorite song on the album. And the rest of the song, like, it's pretty solid. I still like I've Got a Secret better, but I mean, it's solid enough pop punk. Like, it definitely has that '60s pop influence to it, but it's not. I'm gonna take a word out of your book, as egregious as some of the other songs on the album are. It's just like it's still like pop punk first and foremost, but then there's also like you could tell that they like, the Beach Boys in as they're singing, if that makes any sense.
The vocal melody, there's a lot of soul, there's a lot of doo-woppy vocal melodies. The chord progressions is very reminiscent of the surf rock era. With a pop punk, well, I guess with a pop punk speed, and then just make out noises too. So yeah.
Yeah, and then a random easy chorus breakdown. So
Yeah, like I said, like this song is the best part of the song is also the part of the song that goes, what the F? That what the F moment that most of these songs typically have.
Yeah, and as I said, pretty much every song on this album has one part. Some songs it's the entire song, other songs it's just a random part that makes you go, "What the?"
Yeah,
but yeah, no, like the rest of the song outside of the breakdown is pretty solid. I don't know if it would be my second favorite if not for the breakdown. It would probably be not mid tier, but it'd probably still be like it'd probably be a little bit lower, like maybe top 5 material rather than number 2. But that breakdown definitely elevates it quite a bit. But I mean, again, if it was a whack song, the breakdown wouldn't be able to save it. Because I wouldn't want to sit through. I wouldn't want to sit through 3 minutes of trash for 10 seconds of a good song.
Yeah, I mean that just doesn't make sense. But yeah,
out of place. Out of place, yes, but still good song. Good song. It's a decent song all around. So I guess with that out of the way, I said everything I need to say.
Yeah, so yeah, I pretty much just said about what I want to say. I said I feel like Diner Date just kind of gives you a continuation of what California Girls lays out, just a breakdown and making out. So if that's your thing, check it out. If not, then I don't blame you.
So we can move on to track number 5, Way Beach.
Wayo Beach, actually, that's also a typo as well.
Okay, I figured it was, but yeah. And this is my favorite Beach Boys song ever written.
Yeah, I mean,
that's
essentially just a Surf album.
That's really the only way to slice it. I mean, I guess the only real pop punk element to this song is the electric guitars. Or like the distorted guitars, I guess I should say, because I mean they used electric guitars back then.
Yeah, I mean, this song makes me feel a lot of weird emotions.
Oh, and this song. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Huh?
No. Go ahead.
This song makes me feel like weird emotions because at one point, I meant it is very like happy and upbeat feeling, so you can't help but kind of have like perks you up in a way. You know what I'm trying to say?
Mm-hmm.
But not really into the Beach Boys kind of music, but it does make you feel happy. Kind of reminds me of like one of the Goldfinger songs off their newest album that has kind of a beachy vibe to it, and you kind of just feel kind of good. It has a feel good vibe to it.
It makes you feel like everything's gonna be all right in the end.
Yeah, like it's just kind of it's just a party. You know what I mean? It's just you're here to relax. Of course, I got some weird stuff with, hey bartender, how much are the drinks? The drinks are free.
The drinks are free. Yeah, I was going to bring attention to that. God, I was gonna say, I mean, this whole song is a big what the fuck, but that part in particular is this song's what the fuck moment.
Yeah, like I said, like this song gives me like a kind of like a WTF moment, but unlike the other WTF moments, like the rest of the song has kind of an upbeat, kind of good feel vibe, at least for me personally. But what about you?
Yeah, I mean it's definitely a weird song because it's like I kind of like it at face value because, like you said, it is upbeat and fun. Um, it's kind of weird when you think these are the same guys that made Your True Colors just 2 years ago. But I mean, on its own, it's solid enough. I do kind of like it in that context. Um, Definitely a pretty weird song though.
Yes,
Um,
definitely
I would
odd.
I would probably put it mid tier because I think the lower tier is reserved for like sexy fancy money.
Yes, and a few other songs that I will be bringing up in the future.
Oh yes, a few songs that I don't want to spoil it yet, but yeah, I think we're on the same page with the same song. Um,
Yes,
and yeah, I mean it's just really, I guess inoffensive is the right term. Like it's egregious how much Beach Boys influence is in this song, but it's just it's just a feel good, fun, vibey type song. Makes you like, oh yeah, we're gonna hang out at the beach. We're gonna have a good time.
yeah, a true summer song, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
Summer at the beach kind of song. But that's all I really got to say about this song.
Yeah, then I guess we can move on to track number 6, the title track, California Kicks. This song I think actually just misses out on my top 5. This would probably be my number 4. Um, cause this song I think is a good example of the doo-woppy 60s Beach Boys influence working in tandem with the pop punk. And it's just very catchy. It's super catchy. Um it has just enough of that influence into the song. Where like, it's not just your standard run of the mill pop punk, but it's not overpowering like Wayo Beach. You know what I mean?
I mean, I can't really disagree with it. I was gonna say this is definitely either my favorite or second favorite song on the album, just because it definitely is one of the more, I guess, this is definitely, in my opinion, like this probably the safest song on the album because it definitely is probably, in my opinion, one of the most pop punk songs on the album, and it seems like almost like a natural progression. I would say like, you definitely see them if they like this. This makes sense them releasing this just because it's catchy, it's
Yeah,
pop punky.
this is sort of another song I would say would be a continuation of like Pop Rocks and Brain
Yeah,
Freeze and the
a
popular
spiritual
songs.
successor.
Yeah, like the popular songs off of Settle the Score. Like if pretty much what I would have pictured their full length album being would just be a whole bunch of songs like this and I've Got a Secret.
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
mean,
and that's not to. I mean, don't get me wrong. They have the little like, woo. I can't really do it that good right now, but like I think you guys know what I'm trying to thought. Like the type of shit that you would hear, like like Good Vibrations,
yeah.
shit like that.
Mhm.
Like it's definitely there, but it complements the pop punk rather than takes over the pop punk, which is why I think I like this song a lot.
Yes. California Kicks is definitely one of my favorite or second favorite songs, and you pretty much said everything that I wanted to say.
Okay, then I guess we can move on to track number 7, Party Girls, which would probably be my third favorite song. Because everything I think I just said about California Kicks applies to this song, except I think I just think this song does it a little bit better. I love that friggin' guitar riff. That like, I mean, first of all, it comes in with that like a little like gang vocal that's kind of sounds like "Vacation All I Ever Wanted," but like it's awesome. And then that got that guitar riff that kicks in. It's just fun. It just makes you feel like you're in for a good time. And then it kicks into the verses, which again, like I'm not gonna go too into detail because I already pretty much said everything during California Kicks. Like it's got that influence to it where you can tell, we like the Beach Boys, but rather than overtaking the pop punk, it works in tandem with it to bring like a well-rounded song, I guess I could say.
And it also has a breakdown.
Yeah, and it also has a breakdown that I apparently forgot about.
Yes, and it's pretty awesome that it has a breakdown because it also has one of the few kind of remnants of an aggressive vocal when he says, "You know it's gonna get me on." Kind of like a not like a scream, but you definitely tell it's definitely more of a gang vocally ish, which you would hear in a normal easy chorus song. And
Uh-huh.
this was, I believe, the first song they released on this album. So as you can imagine, my expectations were super duper high for the full length because I
Yeah,
was not expecting anything else on the album.
because it came out of the gate with a banger.
Yeah,
Like
because the first
I do like this song a lot.
Yeah, like, I think the first 2 I think when I said, like, California Kiss is either my favorite or my second favorite song, it goes in tangent with Party Girls, where it's either my favorite or my second favorite. I guess it depends on the day of the week, but it definitely is, in my opinion, the most, as I call it, it's the most subtle to scory song on the album.
Okay, I agree with that. Um, oh, yep, I'm hearing the breakdown right now. I'm listening. I got the you in one of my ears, and then I have the album up on Spotify in the other ear, and I'm hearing the
Yeah,
breakdown right now.
that's why I do with these album reviews, like, yeah, but, yeah,
Um,
it's
uh,
definitely a great
yeah,
song in
it's
my opinion.
definitely I would say my third favorite. Just for the simple fact of yeah, it just does everything California Kicks does, but just a little bit better in my opinion. Like California Kicks doesn't have those sick guitar riffs, which are probably my favorite part of the song. Like but you know,
Yeah,
just edges out California Kicks just a little bit as my third favorite.
yeah, I mean, I'd say Party Girls is either first or 2, and, like I said, it's the most subtle scory album, and kind of wish they didn't release this song first on the album because I think in 2010, I feel like the internet wasn't as advanced as it was in 2020. So I think when you wanted to hear an album, you had to hear it when it came out. Like I feel like leaks were kind of rarish. So I think the rest of the album was just kind of a kick in the nuts when the first song they released was Party Girls, and the other song they released was California Kick. So you really weren't expecting a lot of insanity, I guess, as I want to put it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they came out the
Ironically,
gate. They came out the gate a little too strong.
also, at Warped Tour, I guess they got that reaction because the only songs they played off California Kicks at Warped Tour was Party Girls, California Kicks, and California Girls. They're the only 3 songs, and the rest were just all from, and they pretty much played the rest of the Settle the Score album, EP.
Yeah, yeah. It's sort of like how when I kind of stopped listening to Zebrahead for a little bit, um, and then they came out with His World, the song they did for Sonic, and I actually didn't realize it was a new singer because he kind of sounded like Justin in that song a little bit, at least to my like 10-year-old brain. And then finally I listened to like Broadcast of the World a little bit later. I was like, oh shit, they got a new singer. Because that was just like my only exposure to it. So like I guess what I'm trying to say is like when that was your only exposure to California Kicks was those 3 songs, of course you're gonna think the album's fucking banging. Because that's all you
Like,
really knew about it.
it just sounds like a natural continuation of Settle the Score, but which is with a different with a different flair, just to differentiate it. But yeah, Party Girls, A1 song. It's definitely one of the handful of songs that I put in my. I'm not embarrassed to play this at work.
Yeah, I definitely makes my top 3 for sure. For
Hmm.
sure. And then
Yep.
I
So then,
guess with that being said, we can move on to track number 8, Living for the Summer. And this is probably, in my opinion, the first song on the album that really doesn't have anything going for it, good or bad. Just kind of
yeah,
there.
I'm happy you said that because I was about to say, like, this song is honestly the first song where I can just say I don't like it in any capacity, because there's other songs on this album that I get some real sick kicks out of, and then there's some songs that are generally good, and this song just kind of boring.
Yeah, boring's a good word. I don't really want to say it's bad. And it does have some redeemable qualities. I do like the little summer in the chorus. Pretty catchy. But overall, yeah, I'm not really putting this song on just to listen to it. It's just kind of eh.
Yeah, it's kind of like if I'm listening to the album from start to finish and I don't feel like getting up and changing it. That's the only time I'm really listening to this song because I don't really care for it.
Yeah, I think I'm kind of where I'm at with this song is it's like if it just came on, like if I'm listening to the album or if it comes on my daily mix, I'm probably not going to skip it. But I'm also not adding it to the queue or adding it to any of my playlists.
I will say this to this album's credit, for better or for worse, I think this is the only true quote unquote filler track.
Yeah, I think I'm inclined to agree.
Yes, so I mean, it's
So,
definitely the most forgettable. It's definitely the most existing song. It's not the worst because there's some that are disgusting, but they're also
sexy
disgustingly
fancy
beautiful at the
money.
same time. Yes, and upcoming song, which is the one that I get my sickest kick in.
Oh, yeah, track number 9. Backseat Bingo. Hello, baby. Yeah, this song is
entire.
complete fucking madness.
I know they lost their goddamn mind right in this song. Imagine being the producer and like, okay, Mr. Bingham, time to drop the album track, do your album, your vocal tracks, and then he's out here belting out the "Hello, baby, this is the big man speaking."
Yeah, this is like in The Dark Knight when Alfred's like, some men only want to watch the world burn. He was talking about Fight Fair when they dropped the California Kicks album. This song in
Yeah.
particular.
And then it's just the entire like, and the best part is the random speaking during this song when it's like, yeah, I asked her to the sock cup ball, she couldn't wait for backseat bingo, and then it has this true 1950s real generic like bluesies rocky kind of chorus with a Fight Fair sheen on it. It's just complete insanity.
Yeah, this is
All
another
about
one of those songs where I'm sitting there, I'm thinking, were they fucking serious when they made this album?
and I like how the entire song is just about having sex.
Yeah, I know. I love how Backseat Bingo is a euphemism for sex. I almost feel like it would be more interesting if they were legitimately talking about playing bingo in the backseat of a convertible.
And the best part is I believe before the second chorus is when, and this is the part that puts the song over the top, and it's the most disgusting, and it's great. It goes, it was like, and the flirt could, and he's like, and the flirt couldn't wait to get my bop bop shoo bop bop, and I like how the little doo woppy sounds they have is a euphemism of
Bop, shoo
getting a
up.
penis in there.
Oh my god, this song is just absolutely fucking ridiculous.
Yes, but I just love how they go, how she couldn't wait to get my bop bop shoo wop bop, instead of just saying, pretty much saying like she's gonna get my dick tonight. They used a freaking doo woppy whatever the hell it's called, this kind of the
Euphemism.
noise. Yeah, the euphemism of just doo wop sounds is a euphemism for sex. It's insane, and the worst is after the bridge where it gets a little bit normal, and then the big man comes back and he goes, "I'm back, baby." He goes back into the same chorus. Like, imagine the
I have a hard time choosing which song is more insane. Sexy Fancy Money or this?
I don't know, man. Like, Sexy Fancy Money just seems like it just kind of, it's like almost like a non-screaming version of something you would hear from like a Broken Side. But Backseat Bingo is just anarchy in the weird blues doo-woppy tangent about having sex.
Well, if nothing else, it showcases this album's range that they can go from basically Broken Side without the screaming to the fucking Beach Boys to Backseat Bingo.
Just
Yeah, if we have anybody watching this that hasn't heard this song yet, just go take a listen for yourself. It's on Spotify. You gotta listen to this friggin' train wreck in person.
To me, Backseat Bingo to me is almost like the song version
It's
of The Room featuring Tommy Wiseau, where like
I
it's
w-
definitely not like I'm not listening to it because it's good, but I definitely get enjoyment out of it
I was
because
just
like
about
I
to say it's like the music version of Rock of Love featuring Bret Michaels. Like
yeah,
it's just pure fucking insanity, and it's almost beautiful because of how insane it is.
like it's definitely not good, but like if I
It's
tell you
not
that I
good, but
don't,
it's art. Damn it.
yeah, it's not good, but if I tell you I don't enjoy myself when I listen to this, I'm a liar because I definitely this is definitely one of the most sickest kicks I get in music that I listen to. Like I just sometimes I put this song on if I just need a quick laugh because it's the best kind of comedy where it's unintentionally funny.
Yeah, like they were really in the studio thinking like, "Yo, this is fire. We need to release this like now."
Yo, and I can see a Adam. I can see uh fuck, what's it? The singer. Let me look up his name real quick. I forget it.
All right.
Uh,
Well, while you say that, I'll just say, yeah, it's I just saw nobody in the studio. Like everybody in the studio was like, yeah, this is fire, dude. Just drop it. Like nobody was like, listen. It's I don't know if you know this. It is 2010. Okay. The 50s ended like at the time 60 years ago. Okay. It's 2010.
oh
But
yes, no, I
yeah,
remember.
you pretty much hit the nail on the head. This song is awful, but I kind of love it because of how awful it is.
Yes, I'm just picturing Alex Bigman going. You know what this song is missing? Me referring to myself as the big man, very obnoxiously throughout many of the parts of the song.
Listen, man, it's art. If he didn't belt out the "Hello, baby," then he wouldn't be able to complete his vision.
And I like how he called himself. This is the big man speaking, as in this is the man, the big man, because of play on words with his name.
Oh, I am aware.
Oh yes, but
Yeah, this song is just pure fucking insanity.
yes, and it's funny because after they recorded this album, this is before the album came out. But the reason why I brought up the Breathe, they went on tour with Breathe Carolina, Cash Cash as well.
That
Fun
is a
fact.
very weird lineup because, like, I know I said that they have neon influences, but like Cash Cash and Breathe Carolina are like the extreme versions of neon pop.
Yeah,
like
Cash
like
Cash is electronica.
yeah, Cash Cash is just Cash Cash is just pop punk with EDM instruments, pretty much. At least old Cash Cash, because new Cash Cash is just straight up EDM. Actually, no, I like their new stuff, but their old stuff is really the good stuff, if you ask me. And Breathe Carolina was pretty much more of the same. If you like Cash Cash, you probably like Breathe Carolina because they pretty much did the same thing. It's just like
Yeah,
just like pop punk with EDM instruments instead of like guitars and drums and shit. But yeah, I guess you have anything else you want to say about Backseat Bingo?
I'm a loss for words because it's like I dislike it, but I also love it. It's terrible, but it's also beautiful. It's like the yin and the yang. Or without darkness there cannot be light, but without light there cannot be darkness. It's a perfect balance of harmony of
Yes, it's a perfect balance of this is awful. I love it.
exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
I
It's
think
like watching Mr. Freeze from Batman and Robin lines. It's
yeah,
great.
I think I'm sticking to my Rock of Love analogy. That's pretty much what Rock of Love was. This is terrible. I love it. I want 3 more seasons.
Yeah, so
Yeah, I guess with that out of the way, we can move on to track number 10, Going Nowhere. And I just want to say, I first heard this song when I was listening to the album for the review. So when like in December when we were first planning it out, and I was very taken aback because there's random Christmas bells at the beginning. But I don't think
It's
there's
funny.
any. I don't think there's any other mention to this being a Christmas song aside from like the first line is talking about like this holiday, and they never mention it again.
Hey man, it's Fight Fest. That's just what they do, my man.
But I mean, it's a pretty solid song. It's definitely one of the better songs of the album, I would say. This one's just pretty much just standard pop punk. I don't really, I wouldn't even say there's really any, like surf rock, '60s pop, Beach Boys, and I almost said the Beastie Boys, Beach Boys influence to it. This one's pretty much just standard pop punk. It's definitely more interesting than Living for the Summer because it's not like slow and just kind of like eh. But there's really not a whole lot going for it. Than like other songs of the album. So I think for that it's kind of firmly mid tier for me.
True. I mean, I actually like this song quite a bit just because I think I also think it kind of gets damaged because it comes right after Backseat Bingo, so you're just completely just so worn down and worn out that you can't even think straight. So like this song is just kind of I think anything just kind of exists at this point.
Yeah, it's just sort of like, okay, did you survive Backseat Bingo? Okay, here's another song called Going Nowhere.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it's just pretty much a pop punk song, and it has some random chugging in the middle, and
Yeah, I
it's
would
like
say. I mean, I say mid tier, but that's really. I mean, it's an 11 song album, so pretty much anything that's not in my top five is by definition mid tier.
yeah,
Um,
I mean, yeah,
but yeah, I mean, it's a solid enough song. I mean, it's definitely better than Living for the Summer. That's for damn sure.
yeah. I
Um,
mean,
I just think it's kind of slightly less interesting than the songs in my top five because the kind of doo-woppy like '60s influence kind of makes it a little more interesting to me than just this one, which is like a pure pop. And it's really good at being a pure pop punk song, but it just doesn't have that extra like to kind of elevate it for me.
yeah. I mean, I guess with this general theme of this album, it is it's definitely I guess a welcomed sight just to kind of a return to as I call it normalcy in a bit.
Yeah, well, it's certainly not forgettable.
But I mean, once you go straight from freaking Backseat Bingo, I mean, everything else on this album is just kind of tame. I mean, everything's gonna be boring compared to that.
We saw pure beauty, and now like everything else by comparison seems frail.
Exactly. It's like you saw what Nirvana is, and I don't mean the crappy band. I know
Yes.
hot take people
Yeah.
might get offended, but it's like,
We're gonna lose subscribers for that one.
hey man, you have the same you dislike them more than I do.
Oh, I know. I was just about to say, yeah, I don't like Nirvana either. Grunge in general is just awful.
Yeah, but I was gonna say
At least post grunge I can get a kick out of because it's like so bad that it's hilarious. But grunge is just terrible. But anyway, go on.
yeah, but like I feel like once Backseat Bingo happens, like you've seen the peak of humanity, and everything else is just you can't reach it, so it's just kind of like don't even try anymore. It's just you just listen to it now because you're so worn down mentally.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I like the song personally though.
Yeah, and
So
I should clarify before we move on. I should clarify. I don't think it's boring because it doesn't have like the influences that the other songs have. I just feel like because the other songs kind of do everything, the songs that I like, I should say at least, do everything so well. It does make the song seem a little bit more boring by comparison, but it is still very good at what it does. This is just being a solid pop punk song. The random Christmas bells are kind of weird for me because aside from this holiday in the chorus, there's really no indication that it's a holiday song. um, but it is a good song, and like I said, mid tier really is just on a technicality, just because it is an 11-track album. Um, but yeah, I guess that's really all I gotta say on that one. Unless you have anything else you want to say.
nope. I mean, that's really all I gotta say is if you just need a standard pop punk song, this is the song you should listen to. For anybody listening.
Okay, fair enough. And then I guess with that being said, we can close out the album with track 11, Love. This one's just kind of like, I really don't have a whole lot to say about it.
Yeah.
Kind of reminds me of that song where it's like, I can't feel me loving nobody but you for my life. You know, that song from the 60s.
I mean, I feel like that's probably the vibe they were going for. Now that you mentioned it,
Probably. It's one of those things where it's like, I can hear it. Like, I can hear it in my head. Like, it's like doing like a mashup of the two. I guess it's not awful, but it's definitely not something I would really put on just to listen to. I'd much rather listen to Party Girls or Diner Date.
yeah. I mean, this song I kind of put in the same boat of Living for the Summer, where it's just there. I mean, it's kind of more of a boringish kind of thing where I don't really care for it personally. Like, it's not good enough where I want to genuinely listen to it, but it's not a train wreck where it's like I want to listen to it just because of it's funny.
Yeah. But it does almost kind of make me wonder what my true least favorite song on the album is. Whether it be this or like, Backseat Bingo or Sexy Fanny Money. Because like those songs, like they're terrible. But they're so terrible that they're entertaining to listen to. Whereas this one's just kind of like, I guess I don't hate it, but I don't really want to listen to it.
I'd probably say Sexy Fancy Money is my least favorite.
Yeah, probably
Because
mine as well.
I genuinely like kind of get annoyed listening to it, and I skip it right away. But with Backseat Bingo, I actually listen to the song full way when I put it on.
But I guess what I was trying to get at was if I would say this is my least favorite song, because like those songs, as you take another word out, I get a sick kick listening to those songs. Whereas this is just kind of like, I mean, I guess it's not terrible, but there's really nothing about it that makes me want to listen to it.
Yeah, I understand what you mean. It's kind of that fine line of it just being meh, which is not bad, but it's also not memorable, which is also equally as bad in my opinion as well.
Yeah. Versus, the aforementioned Backseat Bingo and Sexy Fancy Money are almost in so bad it's good territory.
Yeah, where it's like we're still talking about it 10, people bring it up 10 years later.
Exactly.
And also, I just want to bring up before we kind of close out, say goodbye about this album. I just want to give you I mean, me and you talked about it, but I want to let people
tell the
I want
audience.
I want the audience know about the gall that the self-proclaimed big man has to say about this album, because he did an interview about a couple months after this album released, and he says, one, it's not for your average Hot Topic core kid, which is I thought was interesting because back in the day that was your main audience. Number two, but this is the real egregious part. This is the part where I know this motherfucker is lying. The big man, as I'm going to refer to him now, had the gall to say that the kids who said they loved it, he said those kids said it's one of the best albums they have ever heard in their life. I said, "Are you sure about that, bro?" I'm just picturing somebody listening to Wayo Beach or Diner Date and thinking to themselves, there's no music that gets better.
This is the peak of all music that's ever been recorded.
I mean, and it's funny because I guess there is a very small demographic of people who love the Beach Boys who want a modern coat to it. And I guess if that's what you really crave in music, that this is your only option.
Yeah, I mean, I guess technically every album out there is probably somebody's favorite album.
Well, I mean, because art is subjective, you know what I mean? You can't really put a stat to it, be
Yeah, it's not like sports statistics where Tom Brady is no longer a Patriot is an objective fact and not me stating my opinion.
Yes, me going, he won 7 Super Bowls is a fact. You can't really argue with it. I mean, it
Yeah,
happened.
yeah, yeah. I mean, whether
But
you like him or not is subjective, but like he did win
you can,
7 Super Bowls. That is an objective fact.
yes, you can't turn that down. But I mean, like, I'm just picturing, like there's he claims that these group of people that claim this is the best album ever written, and I mean, I'm not saying it's impossible because
I mean, hey,
through the
I'm
laws
I'm
of
I'm sh-
probability, anything's possible. But I'm having a I say it's plausible, but I don't find it.
well, I'm sure there's someone out there that thinks Jack and Jill is the best movie ever made too. So,
Hey, for them. But
but
is there any closing remarks you have about this album?
yeah, just to go over, pretty much just reiterate what I said at the start of the podcast was it kind of frustrates me because there's definitely traces of Settle the Score on this album, at the very least the poppier songs. Um, where you could definitely tell it maybe may have started out as a continuation to Settle the Score before they just decided, you know what, let's just go in a completely different direction. And again, I really don't fault them because I definitely understand wanting to stick out. You definitely have a better chance of being unique because even if it's not like amazing, if it's the only thing out there like it, then you're gonna find that niche audience that's gonna fucking love it just because it's the only thing that's there. But I mean, Settle the Score was just such a good EP that it's kind of weird that they just went in a completely different direction. And it's not honestly all bad. As much as I like to rip on this album, there are some songs on it that genuinely made their way into my playlists. But then there's just fucking Backseat Bingo, and I'm just like, what the hell? If I had to give it a score over, I'd probably give it a 6.5 because the good songs are really, really good. But the weird songs kind of drag it down a little bit.
It's a double-edged sword, my friend, because there are some good songs on it, but the album would have been another kind of relic of popcore, easy core lore from 2010 that happens to exist if it wasn't for those terrible songs.
That is true, although I will say, food for thought. Food for thought. Say they did put out another easy core album, or if they even just kind of went in the neon direction, right, and did a full-on neon pop album. It may have been just another easy core album, or just another neon, or just another popcore album in general, if they want to mix the two. But
Yeah, but I mean,
but had they just kind of did that, right, and they put out an album that maybe may not have made waves, but it might not have been so notorious that it killed their momentum, and then they could continue to put out more albums. I mean, a band of Flight Fair size, I think they would have broken up eventually. But I think had it not been for California Kicks being as insane as it was, for lack of a better term, I feel like we probably could have got at least 2 or 3 full lengths out of them.
yeah, I mean, I feel like California Kicks is definitely an album you drop at album 3 or 4 just to kind of change things up.
Yeah.
Or you already have a strong kind of support fan base in the scene, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
You just don't go out of the gates dropping this and expecting, the Warped Tour crowd to automatically be like, I love this fucking band over 4 years strong and set your goals. It's not going to happen.
Exactly. And for the record,
I mean,
I'm not saying this is objectively what they should have done. I'm just kind of,
I
I'm just
think you're
kind of,
objectively correct.
I'm just kind of coming at it from a different perspective because I love ripping on California Kicks, and I also genuinely really like some of California Kicks. But I can't help but think, like, maybe if they hadn't done California Kicks, or maybe if California Kicks was all songs like I've Got a Secret and like Party Girls, maybe it wouldn't have been their only full length. Because California Kicks is, to date, their only full length. And considering they are broken up, will probably stay that way.
Yes, considering they haven't released anything in 10 years.
Yeah. Yeah, close to it, right? Because you said that Pop Punk EP was 2012.
2011,
yeah,
actually.
Oh, 2000. Okay, so yeah, now it is officially 10 years old. Holy shit.
Yes, so I mean, I mean, I would have loved to see a more, I guess, traditional career trajectory for Fight Fair because I think Settle the Score is probably one of my favorite, if not favorite, I guess, easy core releases. And it's a shame that it's definitely one of the more unique kind of delving into the history of the easy core, I guess, generation of pop punk because you got this insanity brewing. It's almost like the
Yeah,
Sonic 06 of
and you know what?
easy core.
And before we wrap up, I did actually want to say you could kind of almost hear the seeds being planted for California Kicks on like Pop Rocks and Brain Freeze, kind of in the similar vein. Like they don't go balls to the walls with the doo-wop influence, but like there's definitely at least a little bit of it there. Which is why I think songs like "I've Got a Secret" and "Party Girls" and the aforementioned "California Kicks" don't feel so out of place as continuations of those songs, because it just kind of delves further into it. If that makes any sense.
Yes, that makes a lot of sense.
Okay, fair enough. And I mean, do you have any closing remarks on California Kicks?
Uh, Mr. Big Man, if you're listening to this, thank you for the free CD 10, 11 years ago. Uh, Sorry for insulting you 11 years ago. I regret it. Not really, because I feel like somebody had to say something to you. Uh, you know, obviously the corporate fat cats weren't stopping you, so I had to take it to the streets. Uh, but I mean, the Broken EP, like like the 2 or 3 songs you can find on YouTube, in my opinion, are all very good, and it's a shame because I feel like California Kicks just truly ruined their career, or so. But hey, Fight Fair, I'm glad I saw them. I'm glad I saw them live at least one time.
Alright, fair enough.
True tragedy, a real Shakespearean drama, in my opinion.
Real, just friggin' they had it all, and then they were like, you know what? Let's do something different.
We like the Beach Boys.
Like the
That's what
Beach Boys,
happened.
and we want to let the world know.
The big man bought a surfboard and picked up a Beach Boys album, and then that happened. And he had to let everybody and their mom know about it. But that's all I got to say about California Kicks.
If you had to give it a rating, what would you give it out of 10?
It's hard because I think there are definitely worse albums that aren't good. But this album's definitely there's a lot to like and a lot to hate. But the ironically enough, the things that I hate about it are also what gives it its charm. So I'll go with 5.5 out of 10 or a 5 out
Okay,
of 10.
fair enough. It's a pretty modest rating for it.
I mean, it's hard for me to say because there's there's things I like about this album, but there's things I dislike. But it's funny because the things I dislike are also things I like about it that has so much. It's definitely very
Yeah, it
charming.
wouldn't be so fun to talk about this album if it weren't for the songs that we dislike about it.
Yeah, so it's
Like if every song on the album just sounded like "Living for the Summer" and "Love," I mean, it would just be like we probably wouldn't even be talking about this album today.
no, it would be getting the spoiler alert, the Less Than Jake treatment we got right now.
Yes, yes, and I do want to talk about that real quick, but I just wanted to make sure we fully wrapped up the California Kickstock before we did.
I mean, if the big man is listening, come in contact with us because I really want to pick your brain about this stuff. I want to know about the process. I
Yes.
want to if because I'm so curious and there's not much fight fair stuff on the internet with regarding that 1 or 2 interviews, and most of the pages you see about fight fair are about Settle the Score. There's not really much about California Kicks other than the random review or the random or that one interview. So I really kind of want to pick your brain about the making and the writing. If you're listening, I know it's a long shot, but
I mean, hey, you
please,
never know. You never know.
but
That's the
please.
beauty of the internet. Anybody can look up anything.
Yeah, this is the equivalent of when humans sent the freaking the gold records up on the satellite to reach alien life. This is me doing this to the big man.
Until I receive confirmation otherwise, I am assuming that the dislike we got on our Blink 182 video was Mark Hoppus himself.
Well, good. He needs to know the truth. But
yeah, so anyway. So before we go for the week, I did want to just really quickly talk about Less Than Jake's new album, Silver Linings. We had originally planned to do a full episode track by track like we usually do with our album reviews, but I don't know, man. I listened to this album multiple times and I just cannot find things to say about this album. It's just kind of like, man, like it's not a bad album, but it's just not. There's really nothing that this album does that their mid 2000s run of albums like Anthem, In With the Out Crowd, that those albums didn't already do, but like better. You know what I mean? The lead single, Lie to Me, was pretty good, and it kind of got me excited for the rest of the album, but then the rest of it was just kind of like, it's really forgettable. Lie to Me is definitely the high point of the album. It's probably the only song from the album that's gonna make it into my regular rotation. Like now that we're done with listening to it for the podcast and stuff. And yeah, that's really all I had to say about it. If I have to give it a number rating, I'd probably give it a 5 out of 10 because it's not bad. I want to reserve like below 5 for albums that I legitimately do not like. But I can't really give it anything higher because if I want to listen to Less Than Jake, I'd rather just put on Anthem or In With the Out Crowd or whatever. It's just kind of a forgettable. Like, I mean, I guess if you're a diehard Less Than Jake fan, you'll probably like it, because it's just more Less Than Jake. But I don't know, it just didn't have that extra oomph that their mid 2000s runs of albums didn't already have.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not even like a Less Than Jake fan like you are. Like you obviously like them way more than I do. Like I can only really give you a handful of songs, but like even when I was listening to it, it all sounded kind of samey from track to track, and it all sounded it was good. Don't get me wrong, it was good. It was well written. It was well produced. It's a Less Than Jake album for Less Than Jake fans.
Yeah. Which, again, I'm sure diehard Less Than Jake fans will be happy just to have more Less Than Jake. But it's just really samey. Like, I talk a lot about how I prefer newer Less Than Jake to older Less Than Jake, which is true. Because I think in the 90s, they were definitely more ska and skate punk influenced. Whereas in the 2000s, they kind of shifted more to that, what I call just pop punk with horns. So it is true that I definitely do like that style better. But it's just not as good as, what I'll call peak Less Than Jake, which would be Anthem, In With the Out Crowd. And I did also like the EP they did a couple years ago that had like Bomb Drop on it. But even that kind of had the samey vibe to it. But it was an EP, so it wasn't as bad. Whereas this is a full length album.
That's the one good thing about EPs, that things don't get as stale as quick.
That is true.
But yeah, I mean, I don't have anything to say about the Less Than Jake album. Like, it's hard for me to come up with words about something that doesn't make me feel anything. It exists.
Exactly, and that's why I think I decided it was best to just cancel the album review, because I was sitting there like really racking my brain on like what I was going to say about it, and I just could not find the words.
Yeah,
I mean, I found the words for just like an overall like overview of it, but yeah, I just couldn't find the words to go track by track.
Yeah, because everything would have been an hour of. It's fine. It's a song. It's good, but it's nothing special.
Yeah, exactly. And I didn't want to do a whole episode of that.
Yeah, so. Yeah, so there we go.
Well, yeah, I mean, yeah, I guess so. Less than Jake, 5 out of 10. California Kicks, 6.5 out of 10. Um, and yeah, so I guess that's all I really wanted to say today. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you everybody that followed the channel over to the new dedicated Triple P channel. We got uploads up every Tuesday at noon, and then on the T-Will official channel, we're gonna be having gameplays up every Wednesday at noon. So to everybody that's stuck around with the T-Will official channel, thank you guys so much. We got great content coming up over there. And if you followed us over here for more podcast content, then we obviously have more of that coming as well. Thank you guys. I will see you guys tomorrow if you're watching the gameplay videos. And if you're just here for the podcast, which is cool. Hey, you signed up for the podcast, so if you don't want to see gameplays, that's not the content you signed up for. I get it. But if you are only here for the podcast, then I will see you guys next Tuesday. Peace.
See ya.